inside the top 10 in the VFL, averaging 27 hit-outs per match, and he'll get over the top of Johnson on this occasion. The 1-2 punch in the Bullants midfield is Valasaris and Fairley, and they're involved early. Mackie from the back launches. Ants have got the breeze too with that Southerly hustling towards the Kramer Street end of the ground. A tangle of feet. Marchbank just tossed it out. Carlton will try and launch an attack from half back. It's snuffed out. Valasaris and Dronico. Valasaris has had 3 touches already. They go inside 50 now, the Ants. It's Hamilton putting them to a dangerous spot. The ideal start on a Sunday afternoon. Journeyman John Jorgensen with the goal. A man in familiar surrounds, not just through his deeds this season in the red and white, but he's lit it up here in September when part of Bundura's outfit in the Northern Football League at his 3rd VFL club. He kicks his 13th goal of the season and gets the Ants away.
Johnny Jorgensen, Richmond in 2022, Essendon last season, his first season at the Bullants, been super consistent in front of goals. Goals have been hard to come by for the Bullants, but he has scored in every single week he's played on the truck assist replay. Perfect start.
Bullants only averaging 49 points a game, 4, so that's a great start for them. Murkoff takes it from the ruck, manages to find his boot. Play on will be the call. Well done, Ma. Little give is good. Kick from Archie Stevens to half forward. Here's Moyer. Tries to spin through the tackle. Umpire says play on. Motlop's taken to ground. Opportunity for Ethan Manthis. Tackle laid on Donegan. Valasaris having another fine season. Blues have got numbers here off the back of the contest. Prout rolled the shoulders. Beat the tackler. Ma had nowhere to go. Working hard again was Andronico, and they do get it to the outside. Well played. McCormick kicks towards half forward. Loping after it is Will Elliott, who engenders memories of Jamie the Spider Shaw.
Alec Murkoff here, just a tackle, and he immediately clutched at that right shoulder. So keep an eye on him. Big ruckman.
Doesn't look like Jamie Shaw, Will Elliott, but he's just got that long-limbed, skinny kind of, you put him in the Preston jumper.
Not quite the Spider, but great sporting pedigree, of course. His father, Matthew, playing 21 tests for Australia. This time, 27 years ago, Matthew Elliott was embarking on an Ashes series in England where he was our leading run scorer as part of retaining the urn. Andrew McCormick joins us on the boundary this afternoon. Plenty happening in footy. More MRO to come our way in the next few days, Macca.
Yeah, well, Harley Reid's the big story. Of course, I expect this to be medium impact, so that will be a one-week ban. So Harley Reid like to be ruled out of the Rising Star race. There wasn't an arm pin there was likely to be excessive force. Ironically, it'll be Darcy Wilson, the St Kilda first-year player, who will be probably favoured for the Rising Star. I guess the question now to you guys, Campbell Brown and the other guys up in the box, is should a suspension rule you out of the Rising Star, a discussion point this week?
I don't think he should be suspended, full stop. I don't know what more he could have done in that tackle.
Probably don't have the bandwidth within the confines of this game to solve those problems. Young, the Blues skipper, gave it off to Wilson. Told along the line. Numbers down the line. Lemmy was outpointed by multiple Bullants. William Wallace. Wait for the Braveheart references from Brownie later on. Jorgensen through hands. Elliott, uber casual. Didn't hit it right. Does not matter. Just when you think you've seen the Sherrin spin every way possible, something different. Dad wasn't known for his bowling, but that moved in the air in some really, really peculiar ways. And the Ants have got 2 inside 5 minutes.
That's a good question. Super efficient at the moment. The Bullants 13 disposals, 3 inside 50s for 2 goals, and that floated. And it floated straight through on the truck assist replay. Good strong contest in the air, and they're all over the Blues at the moment.
It's like he kicked a balloon, Jason.
Just floated, didn't it? Through it went. Both their key forwards have got a goal early. Some heat on the Blues here. 3 inside 50s for 2 goals. Murkoff just ran straight in to Johnson.
That was a bit of retribution, I think, from the last bounce.
Yeah, Alex had no eyes on the ball there, just ran straight through Johnson. So another entry here for the Bullants. Not a great kick, but it'll still get there. It'll still get to Jorgensen. He snaps goalward, too much bend on that. They're looking dangerous every time they go forward.
Yeah, well, they're bringing the ball to ground, aren't they? It's the old Ross line dirty ball inside forward 50, and they're the first to act at the moment.
Billy Wilson, who was concussed in our round 3 broadcast game against Collingwood, take that out. He's averaging 20 touches a game. He's been stylish from defence, the draftee, off the hands of Will White, who's also having a fine season, second in Carlton's goal kicking with 13-7. So the former alignment partners, of course, they locked horns with North Ballarat in a couple of VFL grand finals. Gone their separate ways. It was really the first footballing casualty of COVID. Carroll, Moyes, handball impacted. Jorgensen again sends one skyward. Marchbank got the hands to it, didn't finish the mark off. McCormick popped it free. Bullants want this ball in motion. It's seen to the line with Andronico, who's been prominent early.
Just a little bit more hungry as well. 5 tackles to the Bullants. Carlton yet to lay an effective tackle.
Murkov at the front. Conservative tap. So the Bullants are playing one behind the footy. Not sure where Carlton's extra is. There's the one. It's William Wallace. He's sitting back and he'll cover the long kick out here if it goes down the line to Harvey. So you can see Harvey there, number 73 in the bottom right corner of your screen. Wallace standing about 10 metres behind him.
Yeah, they like him to be spare because he's brave and he plays with plenty of heart.
There's the first of, sadly, many this afternoon.
The spare looks to be Carroll 16, who just came out of shot there, Jace. We'll see the structure here, in all likelihood he'll be the one sitting defensive side of the contest.
So different philosophies. Carlton sending an extra to the stoppage to try and win the football at the source, and then they'll have to work their way through the spare behind the ball for the Bullants. Murkov and Jorgensen. Jorgensen to a good spot here. Andronico tried to slip the tackles, but Markov and Ramshaw have him wrapped up. Jorgensen to Valasaris. Ma takes him to ground.
It is a challenging ground for players, especially this time of year, Jace, where you're effectively playing 2 quarters with a significant breeze and 2 quarters into it.
Murkov towards the line. That one was high and away they can come take advantage through Carroll. So this is where they're going to play through the extra. McMahon to provide a contest. Plenty of numbers on the deck here for the Bullants. Carlton get numbers there, but too late. Away comes Hamilton again. He'll kick towards half forward. Valasaris versus Ma. That's going to be a fantastic battle this afternoon.
Yeah, really well set up. Brownie, that contest right in the centre circle. It's where ball security is pivotal. If the Bullants had even just sat on it, hatched it without giving away the bringing the ball in free kick, that would have been a good result.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bold kick, isn't it, Nudge? And they had more numbers around the footy. Blues just need to be a bit careful they don't slingshot that straight back with the +1.
Moya, he was spun out. Young, expansive hand pass for Corey Durden, who cuts the kick in. Harvey couldn't complete the mark. Johnson got down to it and got busy. King missed it, though, in his handball attempts. Carroll surrounded by red. Back to Ramshaw. Too much on it for Murkov, who went back to his volleyball days. Standing under it fairly, and he'll take the mark. In fact, it was touched. So chance for Donegan to scuttle away. Broken play for Elliott. Pops it over the top. Jorgensen now goes the banana along the ground. Bouncing once, twice, 3 times. Sold!
Well, I'm not sure whether he was kicking that into the space for his teammate to run onto, but it doesn't matter.
It's a really smart kick that we don't see enough of, because if you hit that straight, it just goes straight. There's no chance of it deviating left or right. You've just got to line it up and hit it. And as long as it's a hard surface like it is today, you know it's going to go straight every time. It's just really clever.
It was a great passage of play, wasn't it? Stood under that ball courageously. Immediately knew it was touched off the boot, and that is what allowed the overlap here. Lucky bounce, and Jorgensen with 2 now.
Xavier Maher joins us boundary side. Xavier, thanks for your time. They've jumped you.
Yeah, they have. We've really got on top of us here, so we need to really lock down and try and win the ball back.
Have you got the job on Velasaris today? Is that your job?
Yeah, it's more just sort of making sure I'm aware where he is on the contest. Obviously, he's pretty dangerous with clearances, so just making sure I get to him and try and stop him.
Xavier, what's that wind doing? Obviously, the Northern Bullants kicking with it.
Yeah, it's a bit out here. Obviously, they've got the advantage. I know for us, we're just trying to look short and build it up for them. So the next quarter, we're going to try and aim long. It's definitely got an advantage, but yeah, we've got to try and to stop it now.
Mate, we'll let you catch your breath. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you, sorry.
Xavier Maher joining us on the boundary line. Well, Barry has it. He kicks towards the wing. Blues in good position here. This is Lemmy behind the football. So Carlton's need a little bit of time in possession here to steady things down. McMahon having a fine year was discussed as a possible mid-season draftee.
Just only their second mark taken, so they haven't been able to control the football at all.
Side 50, Harvey in the middle of that pack, but plenty of fists came over the top. Archie Stevens immediately tackled. Good pressure from the Bullants. They are hunting in number. Carroll's harassed. The turnover comes. Johnson pops a little handball. McCormack tries to keep it moving. Hamilton to Holland. Well played by Marchbank. But again, the numbers are all in red. And away goes Donegan. Has a bounce. Has got a couple of runners to use. Barry pops one over the top.
Absolutely poleaxed.
Advantage will be paid. Jorgensen will have it just inside 50. He'll chip towards the pocket. Gets over the top. Out comes Young. Takes it to the line.
On that far wing as well. Gave the handball, was a sitting duck.
It was Rook Barry.
He waited and just lit up.
Ball certainly not in the area when that contact happened.
So it was just a touch before that. And there is Rook Barry. He's up, fortunately. We'll see if we can get another look at it for you.
Good run and carry, though, wasn't it? Good composure. And they are outworking Carlton at the moment.
Started with Sam Gilbert's clean half volley pickup. Jorgensen for his third. On fire.
He's putting on an absolute clinic. Up forward at the moment.
He may be playing on Lewis Young. Have to have a look, but I think he's playing on Lewis Young, so an AFL-listed key defender, and he's kicked 3 in the first 12 minutes. Maybe Young's gone back to Elliott, so we'll see what the matchup is at the moment. Marchbank.
Truck assist replay, 4th goal coming, and that's really strong frontal contact on that occasion. This is just like Tom Hawkins, strength out of the ruck. And Jorgensen, he's kicked 3. All of them have been snaps around the body on Marchbank. What a start.
Lemmy into the ruck. Takes Johnson down illegally. And the Bullants have got a fly here. Thought about the handball to Velasaris. He was covered by Motlop. So a kick to half forward. Carlton have been rocked by this start. The Bullants out of the blocks. Franks. Jorgensen again involved. Slapped out in the Lewis Young direction. Pops the handball to Marchbank. He'll use Mick Lewis. Shrugs a tackle. Kick towards the wing. Harvey works back on his man. Needs to create a contest. He does. That opens up an opportunity for Motlop. The kick towards half forward, but it's cut off by Sam Gilbert, the former Saint.
Yeah, just great positioning. Knew exactly where the dangerous space was to protect.
Hamilton, and again, they look to go up the middle. This is really positive, bold play from the Bullants. They are attacking at every opportunity here. Harvey, a look-away handball. Stevens made life a little difficult for Lambert, and the turnover comes again.
King to Velasaris, so a couple of the Ants leaders standing up at exactly the right time. Harry Butterworth, who debuted against the Swans last Friday, takes it. Elliott presents. There's Crummers and a high one on McKenzie.
They've been first to the football right from the opening bounce.
Oh, McKenzie.
This will be their 9th inside 50
with
for the quarter.
With the breeze, the temptation to launch. His eyes are lowered. It's a bob each way. Through the hands. Elliott, he's already got one. Can't get free of Lemmy's vice-like grip.
It's been an interesting centre bounce the last few times, isn't it?
The only thing missing probably is a ruck bag in some of these attempts. Lemmy slaps it free. Stevens, Ramshaw looking for it. Ant's looking for a fifth. They might get it too. McKenzie! Yes! The stuff of Sunday afternoon dreams for the Bullants, and concern on the face of Luke Power, who's cool, calm, collected at the best of times, but they need to figure something out here because this game could get away from them in the next 15 minutes. 31 points the margin.
Truck assist replay, Brownie. We're seeing the impact of frenetic pressure. They are hunting in numbers. Every time a Carlton plays anywhere near the football, there are 4 red jumpers on all sides. Carlton have had 43 disposals, 13 turnovers.
Yeah, good forward hunt, wasn't it? Carlton got their hands on the footy, just turned it over through manic pressure, and can't remember the last time I've seen the first 5 goals of a game all kicked by snaps. There's been no set shots. It's all been in general play.
This is a team, the Bullants, who are averaging 49 points a game for the season. They've kicked 31 in the first 16 minutes, and they're not done yet. They're feeling it. Handball over the top. Really enjoying this. It's been a long, tough road for the Bullants.
This man.
And Johnny Jorgensen can go back and kick for goal number 4 in the first quarter, and he's doing it against Lewis Young and Caleb Marchbank, 2 AFL defenders.
I know we're at the 16-minute mark of the first quarter. It's not like there's 43 seconds left, but that had a hint of early crow about it for mine, Jason. And we know how we feel about those things at the moment.
Not early crow at all. Just saying they're enjoying this at the moment. When they're getting, on the end of smackings, when you get to dish one out yourself.
He's kicked a goal every week and multiple goals on 4 occasions.
Want to make the most of it from 53 metres. He launches that, misses just to the right. You know Carlton will come. They'll have the breeze in the second term. The Bullants will just want to try to put the biggest gap they can possible.
It becomes a handicap race from here with the breeze. McMahon's come high up the ground. Another player in familiar surrounds given his time with the Northern Knights. Whack. Murkov. Free kick push. Home side. Some of the home fans have just come out of the lunch and very happy with what they're seeing on the scoreboard. So Wallace, all bar one player on the ground in front of him, heads for the cluster and almost finds Jorgensen. Motlop and Donegan, who wants it out. Whoa, with pace and a wriggle of the hips. Got enough on the kick. Lewis Young marks and calls for immediate calm.
No obvious options, so he's going to go long and wide. Ma off his fingertips.
That's called transferring the pressure from one player to the other.
I'm going to get hit. Here you go. Your turn.
Carlton unable to get any form of composed possession. 4 marks.
But the Ants have only had 6.
Yeah, they haven't been able to link up any change out of the back half, though. It's been quite a free-flowing game of footy.
As we said, it's 46 disposals now for Carlton with 15 turnovers. And that's credit. Not only do they pressure the Bullants, but also their setup behind the football. They just haven't been able to get open men, Carlton.
Yeah, well, they've clearly set up with a really strong plan on how to play the home ground when an opposition side are kicking into the wind.
Moyer couldn't control it. Here's an opportunity for the Blues. Nelson. Wall got a bad bounce. That'll work for Carl. Maybe here's some space. Monahan against Wall, a couple of speedsters.
He's lightning,
Nelson
isn't he?
involved again. Wall came from nowhere, forced the contest, created the turnover. Mackie now goes looking for Jorgensen, but that's wide.
That's just a will to want to stay involved in the contest. He did the chasing. Look at him. Works really hard to get back and affect that spoil.
It's great technique to do that and not give away a free kick either.
Yeah, well, the crucial bit is to turn at the last minute and keep your eyes on the football.
Just 19 of Carlton's 51 possessions have been kicked so far. It's a ratio you rarely see, and it usually is attached to a team under pressure and chasing. Jorgensen in a tangle with Murkov. Belisarius is scooting around the outskirts of the pack. Mackie went and fought for it. Nelson coughs it up. Belisarius with a touch of class. Misses to the right. What a season he's having, JLV. leading the competition, averaging 31 possessions a game. He's kicked goals in 4 of his last 6.
Reigning best and fairest winner from last year.
Lockie Young goes long. There's Moya. So some of these AFL-listed players for the Blues, they're young and inexperienced, but these are the sort of days where they can show not only Luke Powell, but Michael Voss, what they're capable of when their team is up against it. Carroll's had a good start. This is his 7th touch, leads the way for Carlton. That ball holds up in the breeze. Lemmy in the middle of that pack. Wallace has been really effective as the spare behind the ball. Hamilton has been zippy. To King, to half forward. Good spoil from the back from Lockie Young. Handball to Binns, who's been quiet early. Kick inside, sets wide a task. He gets it now off the ricochet from Motlop. Great run from Marr. He's got Carl over the top. He can get it and go. Mackie to try and chase him down. Carl looks around and kicks a goal.
No probs figuring out the dimensions of Geneseo Oval when your first goal happens to come from the goal square.
The goal was created on the truck assist replay from Jackson Binns making the decision to cut back into the corridor. Yes, it was a little bit dangerous, but that opened up all the space for Carl to get out the back. If he'd had just gone long down the line to the Bullant numbers, we probably would have seen another turnover. So well done, Jackson Binns. It was his first touch, but it was a crucial one.
Ned Carl, who's kicked more behinds than any player in the league this season, slots his side's first and his 9th of the campaign. Johnson and Murkov in the tangle. Carroll, as noted, coming off 19% game time Thursday night in Adelaide, has been prominent. Carl taken out of it by Wall, diving hand past Wallace. Wall, Barry, and Dronico just got a fist to it. Barry, surrounded by Navy. I'll be happy to hatch this, the Ants.
Feels like the last 3 or 4 minutes, the Blues starting to stabilise things.
I feel like they've adjusted to the conditions, the way the game's being played, how to play the grounds, and how to absorb a little bit of what Ryan Welsh's team has thrown at them. Murkov was left to do it as Johnson tried to duck around the back, and the Blues will go back to go forward. Prout. After it, Carroll. Murkov showing a touch of class, the big man. Probably came off a shin guard in the end. Wall threw it out. Johnson, and the throw was spotted, was it? Yes. Umpire had the right vantage point to it. So a free kick, and Will White is perhaps the Blue of choice of all 23 that they'd like having this shot. It is into a little bit of a breeze, but there's perhaps the most amount of protection in this part of Geneseo Oval for Will White, who was mentioned 13-7 for the season for the boy from South Warrnambool. It'll take his best on the left. That's what he gives it, but it misses to the right-hand side. So 26 points. Things have stabilised for the visitors.
Will White having a really classy season. Great step from Mackie, got around Carl fairly. Punches it towards the wing. Belted away from Elliott by Lockie Young.
It's an important 4 or 5 minutes here for Carlton. They don't want to concede anymore. If they can sneak another goal all of a sudden, gets them right back in this contest.
I just feel like the momentum shifted over the last 7 or 8 minutes. Blues have just steadied things a little. Murkov had his jumper held. Wilson flips it out. Carlton getting some time in possession. Marr was good. Durden back into a pocket of Bullants. Man behind the football is Ethan Mantis. He'll spread it wide. Fairly. Long searching kick towards Jorgensen, who kept his feet as Lewis Young went to ground. Smothered off the boot of Valasaris. Back to Young. Handball to Lewis. Look inside. Nelson. Blues starting to get some good overlap run here. Can Carroll hit a target? It's punch clear. Here's White. Hoists it high. Dangerous spot. Binns is going to have to go. He won't be able to get there. Hilton slides in.
Tap short was careful for Franks. who showed plenty of it. Ramshaw's read it best. Can share it short with Binns. Instead, chips. Carl denied by a prodigious Mackie fist. Bullants have still got their work cut out, though. Mantis runs back at the fire to Wall, who elects to kick. It's a tumbling ball. It'll get out the back. Evades Elliott, but still alive for the Ants, who just need to keep this in motion. Taken down in the tackle was Chubb when they were off. Tantalisingly close to a sixth. The turnover might be a real blow. Carroll inside, touch of class to Durden. The Blues' pivotal players are starting to get involved, and White has yet another touch on that flank.
There's plenty of space in the Blues forward line on that turnover through the corridor.
I just feel there's been a group of about half a dozen edits in the last 5 minutes that
Big tackle
the
there
Ants
from
could
Young.
be pouring over come Monday or Tuesday night, wondering what might have been. And that's a strange thing to say when they're 26 points up. White's had a sider from here. He'll chip short. Fist on it was important from Chubb. It's still not done, though, for the Ants as Mackie has to wear a tackle. Liam Mackie, the skipper, suspended for 4 weeks for tunnelling in round 3 against the Cats. He's been a welcome addition back into their lineup.
Ball still alive for the Blues. Can they pinch one here? As Brownie said, if Carlton get another and go to the break 20 points, just 20 points down, given they were played off the park for the first 20 minutes, it would be a pretty good result for them. Ma tries to find a boot in amongst all of that.
As miraculous as some of those Bullants goals were, you feel like they still left a couple on the table.
Lemmy and Johnson. They managed to clear the zone through Franks, but might come back. It won't. They've kept their feet well. Flip to the outside for Valasaris. Ma with the job on him in the opening term. Prout went up. Couldn't take it. Wilson. Nelson. Back to Billy Wilson. Looks to square it to the corridor for Moyer. Is there time for the Blues as we hit the 27-minute mark? Carroll's been outstanding. He was the one who got them going. Wide to Ma.
11th disposal for Carroll.
Ma floats it inside 50. Tough one for Lemmy. Low down, Ramshaw. Uses White from the pocket. Misses, and Liam McMahon puts his hands out and says, hey, Will, didn't see me?
Getting some looks to the Blues. It's 14 inside 50s to 10. The lion's share of those 10 for Carlton have come in the last 10 or so minutes. Mackie punches it to clear the danger. Johnson got to the contest. Lambert sweeps onto it. Wilson drives through. Heads for McMahon. It's over the back. It'll sit for Durden. Free kick advantage. Carlton have their second.
Pause for effect. Goal.
As everyone stands around looking at each other going, we know what the decision is, we just need to confirm it.
All transparent. So back to 19 points.
Truck assist replay. The Smalls have really got involved. Good strong contest, and it was Carl running back into space, and then Durden, who needs to start hitting the scoreboard.
So Brownie, last 10 minutes, 8 inside 50s to 3, 2-2 to or behind. Carlton up in virtually every statistical area.
Dane Harvey takes a turn in the ruck, and away they go again through Ramshaw. They're really getting good run overlap at the moment. Kick inside 50 from Lambert was nicely read.
That's what they didn't do in the first 15 minutes. They just couldn't get their hands on the football. They were losing it out of the centre clearance.
Sam Gilbert with a floater, picked off by Nelson. Switching play back into the corridor effectively too, Brownie, aren't they? This is Wilson.
And able to kick mark, maintain possession, a bit more composure.
Nice step. Delivery not ideal for Lemmy. Get it on the bounce. Here's Carroll again playing with some sort of quarter. Can he cap it with a goal? McMahon, another miss. So now it's the Blues leaving a few on the table. It was the Bullants early. It's been an impressive recovery from Carlton to get themselves back into the contest. Margin now sits at 3 straight kicks as we hit the 30-minute mark of the opening term.
Yeah, Jack Carroll got a real point to prove. 12 disposals, 2 clearances. He's been involved in everything.
These are crucial seconds for the Ants to manage. Mackie forced into play on from the Wallace kick. It's over King, but it's on the right side of the line if you're in red and white.
Yeah, the switch probably wasn't on. Even if he took that mark there in the pocket, King, it would have been held up. Lemmy was right there on him.
Halfway through the last quarter of the 2023 VFL Grand Final rematch. And the sequel living up to what we saw in September last year. The Tigers with a couple of goal advantage. Weren't they impressive live last Sunday against North Melbourne? Franks will clear it and find Valasaris. So against the flow, can the Ants find a counterpunch? Jorgensen's been enormous with 3 first quarter goals. He might turn provider. Chubb on the stretch takes a sizable divot.
He worked really hard there, Chubb. On that occasion, he's been doing it at both ends.
Hurt the shoulder in landing. You can see he's got half of Kramer Street
He's
stuck to his shoulder as he
The operation
hit
would
the
be to
ground.
remove the Merry Creek soil.
Oh, yeah, look at, he really buries his right shoulder into the turf. Bang.
It's an awkward landing
big
with
chunk.
a jam, the arm jam. So 2 goals last week. Plays his local football with Montmorency in the Northern Football League. Also had some time with the Northern Knights as well. Great to see local products wanting to take their chance at VFL level with the Bullants. Chubb's got it. Monumental goal in the context of how the opening quarter has unfolded and Carlton's ability to wrest back the momentum in time on. It just takes the buffer out the way of the home side. It's 24 points once again and really good link up from the Ants coast to coast.
Yeah, they're good players getting their hands on the footy. Valasaris, great transition from the back half into the hands of Jorgensen, who's playing as a key deep forward. He's had 10 disposals, taken 3 marks, 3 goals, 2, and a goal assist. You can't have a better quarter than that. And Chubb, he's got great ball security. He does it on both ends of the ground, and it was a nice polished finish.
Just feeling that shoulder afterwards. Margin back out to 4 goals. Better reflection of the Bullants' dominance. Murkoff came over the top of Johnson. Carroll had his jumper held. Ramshaw. Heavy collision there. Look at the intensity around this ball now. Carlton have responded, and the Bullants trying to lift their work rating as well. Both these teams 1 win, 7 losses. So the 4 points on offer this afternoon just so precious. Fairly to the outside for Gilbert. Stabs it down the line. Jorgensen the target. Nelson will take the second option, which is a handball over the top to Wilson. He goes inside. Murkov bins. What on Jorgensen? Attacked it. Fairly stood up in the tackle. Gave it off to Donegan. Inside 50 from Franks towards the pocket. Good defensive work from Prout. Belts it over the line.
Yeah, he really had to kill that ball. Proud on that occasion. Again, it's Jorgensen working up nice and high, just getting involved again.
And the right names have had plenty of it from a Bullants perspective. Jorgensen 11, Fairley 11, Franks 8, Valasaris 7. I reckon they've missed 3.
That's a fair opening term as a full forward. 11 possessions, 3 goals, 2.
Well, extrapolate that if he replicates that
Outrageous.
for the next 3.
So Lewis Young is the man that's gone to him now. He's doing some ruck work as well. Look for Murkov to try and take this out of the air like he did on that occasion and just gain some territory.
Fairley with a backhander to trap it. Got it off to Holland on his VFL debut. Chubb for his second. What a sizzling opening quarter from the Bullants.
They've been magnificent. Every half chance they've got, they've made the most of it. 17 inside 50s for 7 goals, 3. That's magnificent efficiency for a side that has been kept.
They average 49 points a game, Brownie.
Yeah, they've been kept to under 6 goals, 7 goals most weeks.
Average 49 a game, and they're 45 points. It's not even quarter time.
It's 4-3 to nothing from stoppages.
Yeah, they're certainly getting bang for buck. Kicking with a 3 or 4 goal wind, if you've just joined us, but You've still got to kick the goals. You can't let the wind do it for you. And their work rate and contest work has been magnificent.
I kicked the last 5 goals of the game to beat Collingwood here a month or so ago. That was an exciting burst of football, and so has this been. Murkoff in the ruck against Johnson, who keeps on battling in there. Ramshaw got the hands free into the path of Stevens. He's been harassed by Donegan. Mackie off a step, thumps it long, and the siren sounds. A magnificent opening term from the Northern Bullants. They've lost 40 of their last 44 games, and they've come out and they've kicked 7 goals in the opening term. Yeah. Second term from Kramer Street. It's the Bullants by 5 straight kicks. Johnson has been in everything in the ruck up against Murkov. Fairley's been good. Valasaris turns and delivers it inside 50. Jorgensen gets rid of Young. Play on the call. Gets to the back for Elliott. Well done, Young. Good second effort.
Yeah, first instinct, he needed to just give that handball. Teammate running past.
Blues defence under siege, particularly early. Young's kicks cut off by McKenzie. Opportunity here for McKenzie. Chips and finds a man.
Just great awareness. And going short to a 50-50 in your defence and not being able to execute is a cardinal sin.
Great opportunity for Harry Andronico.
He's just not switched on this afternoon. Lewis Young.
Come through St Bernard's, Calder under 18s, Coburg, Greensborough. And the 21-year-old a chance to go back for the perfect start to the second term for the Ants. 35 out, more or less directly in front. Got it.
Perfect start, Max's tyre replay. Just a turnover in your defensive 50. Cardinal sin. Stationary Blues players. And Northern Bullants, they're up for this contest. Nice finish from Andronicus.
Played 4 games with Coburg a couple of weeks ago. That's Harry Andronico, for any of the family who are thinking he's turned into former Australian female triathlete Nikki Andronicus. 4 games with Coburg, and he's come a little bit further along Bell Street and having a good time, having played the last 5 matches here with the Ants. That's his 3rd goal of the season thus far.
Harry Andronicus.
Yeah, he's playing that well. There's multiple of him out there. Plural.
Belisavas, Motlop, just quit while you're behind, Brownie.
I'm never behind.
Ball pitches, tangle of feet. Hamilton will receive back from Wallace. He's looked so composed in defence, the former Root. Got it to Fairley, who wanted to keep it moving, and with good reason. Valasaris to Andronico, Brownie. Andronico. Lewis, the late in, got it free. Binns under siege. Lewis with the outside of the right to Wilson. Got it past Mackie to the skipper and Young. Now Ramshaw. Rare to see the Blues in clear air, and that was only brief because Wall was the source pressure. Fairley on clean-up. Valasaris, Wallace, now King. Wall back with the flight. Elliott got over the top of Lewis. Binns tries to generate some run with the 1-2 via Young. Inside 50, Lambert tried to deal with King. And Dane Harvey tried to slap it and keep it alive. 23rd man for the Blues. Local product as well. Northern Knights, Fitzroy Football Club. 7 possessions and 4 marks last week. He kicked a goal with his 2nd VFL kick on debut against the Seagulls a couple of weeks ago.
Super start to the season for Dane Harvey. Fitzroy in the Ammos. Led them to their first win of the season. Brunswick Street Oval against Old Melburnians. Quick kick towards the top of the square. McMahon wrapped up by
You on commission?
Whack.
You on commission the new gig for Ammos mentions on the broadcast?
You mentioned Northern Footy League before. We just like to pump up our local leagues. Why not? We love local footy.
We do.
It's the pathway.
It is.
It's the fat end of the wedge.
Damn right.
Hamilton taken down.
Just need to spend time in the forward half here, the Blues. Multiple stoppages.
Stevens rolled the shoulders, did really well. Kick from Lambert, couldn't get through the traffic. Fairley has been composed.
Smart in the end. Player within distance. Didn't let it go through for a behind. They can reset.
Composure is going to be a factor here for the Bullants. They
Yeah.
lead by 35 points. They've just got to make good decisions.
They don't need to play fast football at all.
Now it's about game management, isn't it, for them?
35's a game high. Young with a fist. Jorgensen, it is following him. He tried to kick it through Wilson. Lewis Young back to Carroll. So important against the flow in turn one. Young to Durden, who surely is off his line. McMahon will come from the back. No, he won't. Wallace.
What a grab.
A brave mark in the contest.
It was superb, wasn't it? He's a real leader back there. Really unites the clans.
Off to Mantis. It's for Johnson, who needs a runner feeding off him. Valasaris had Binns bearing down. Gave it off to Chubb, who kicked 2 important goals beyond the 30-minute mark in the opening quarter. Valasaris is the pop-up sprinkler. Back from Wall to McKenzie, who was chopped. And that was spotted by umpire Sam Herford. So the Bullants get it back into their half of the ground. McKenzie amongst the goal kickers. Likes to hand pass. Valasaris. They still don't want to man him up. Carl tapped it down. Chance here for Holland on debut. That tackle did slide low. Not low enough for a free kick for the boy from St Bernard's.
General lack of accountability out there from some of the Carlton players. They're just allowing Bullants to wander past them, paying them absolutely no respect whatsoever, and they're getting carved up because of it.
Murkoff to Marchbank. Binns will get there ahead of Wall. Down the line towards Harvey against Johnson. Cleaned up by Mackey. Kick towards half forward. Fairley. Great tackle, Ramshaw. Got the hands free, though, to Wall, who hoisted high towards the pocket. Marchbank will come over the top. Great grab at the front from Elliott.
It was a great grab, but he was just allowed a clear run and jump at the football by his direct opponent, Caleb Marchbank. It's simply not good enough defence from an AFL player.
There's another look. That's Ramshaw's tackle. And then Wall just threw it on the boot, Brownie.
Yep, look at the separation. There was no early body work from Marchbank. Lewis Young has been exactly the same, playing on Jorgensen. They're not paying these VFL players respect.
And Elliott can go back and kick his second. It's fading across the face. We saw a number of Carlton shots do that as well in the opening term. A little bit of breeze maybe just.
And you can talk about system and wind and all that sort of stuff, but if you loop power, that's the message you need to tell your players.
Young goes up the middle, heading for Lockie to Lewis. Mantis got a hand on it, and it was an important one at that. Monaghan got into his back. King will take the advantage with the Bullants rushing far and wide to the flanks. McCormick has it. That's what's in front of him. Double lead from Jorgensen. Young will cut the angle. Jorgensen gets a fist in. Valasaris met solidly by Lambert.
He's been good. 12 disposals.
Vance Whitnell watching on. Dane Whitnell's on the Bullants list. And his brother Shane was a good player at the level with Werribee in the 90s as well. Carl. What can the Blues generate from the back? Ma to Nelson. Has to wait for it to pitch on the bounce. Caresses the kick to Ramshaw, and he could stay in motion. He goes low and coughs it up. Another turnover to the red and white.
They had all the space out the back. I'm not sure why they even looked for a short option coming through the corridor.
Johnson's kick to a 2-on-1. Binns rolls it along the ground to White. That's a really good tackle from Mackey. Beautiful pickup from Lewis. Spun through and launches long, and in good position Lambert. That's a really strong mark.
What a great contest from both players.
Going back with the flight.
Absolute courage going back. No one took their eye off the football then. Good long driving kick deep in 50, and look at that.
Gutsy effort there from Matthew King, going back with the flight. Gave it everything, and Lambert somehow still managed to hang on to it. It's an important kick here for the Blues to get it back to 5 goals. Bailey Lambert, 37th VFL game this afternoon. We've seen him at Richmond and at Frankston. The son of Craig. classy player. They need some of it this afternoon. And he delivers. Great to have you with us on 7+, live streaming all our State League footy, 7 VFL, Sandful, Waffle, matches of the day every weekend, available on demand during the week, the full back catalogue. Live and free, State League footy on 7+.
Max's tyre replay shows just that great kick to a dangerous spot. Lambert coming one way, King the other, and much needed goal. They have got 3 or 4 goal win, we believe, and that's their first for the quarter, 10 minutes in.
Bailey Lambert kicked 3 back in round 3 against the Pies. He's been dominating for Noble Park in the Eastern Football League. Kicked 8 against Norwood in a loss a couple of weeks ago. Murkov tangles with Fairley, and the
came as a surprise.
Revised set of interpretations during the week. That is somewhere in the guidelines.
I don't think anyone expected that decision.
Carroll, Wallace, Lemmy amongst the launches. Gilbert back onto the ground, went backwards. Carlton, Motlop sweating on this. Can the Blues Smalls get to work? Motlop versus Gilbert. Jesse Motlop's a player they would dearly love to get involved. So
this is the holding the ball.
Reasonable time, genuine attempt.
It was the lift of the ball up. That was considered the prior opportunity.
Yeah.
Murkov found Motlop, and the Bullants found him.
Just 2 touches for Jesse Motlop so far.
Yeah, he needs to inject himself into this game. Obviously, just back from injury last week, and he's got Fantasia, Owies, Williams all ahead of him at AFL selection at the moment.
Ramshaw, does he take on the tackler?
Absolutely.
Yes, he does. He's gone.
That didn't surprise anyone.
Mackie, penetrating kick to the outer side. Nicely done by Tristan Wack.
Great kick into the corridor. Now the handball received.
Wallace. Fairley pokes it wide. Nice build up here from the Ants. Rook Barry. And they've moved it to half forward, all with uncontested possession. Franks will now drive it long towards the pocket. That's a great mark taken by Andronico. That full stretch.
It is, but it's like the Blues defenders this afternoon are allergic to body contact. Look at that, like that's just poor defence. Monahan was right there. Ball or body, takes neither.
Can Harry Andronico take advantage and kick his second of the term? Slightly up the side of the boot. Murkov there doesn't try to mark. It's flipped out. Nowhere for Young to go. He gets steamrolled. Umpire said too high. Lockie Young standing tall for the Carlton defence. They need to start turning things around here. Midway through the second term, Young launches it long. Lemmy in the middle of that packet, clears the pack. Numbers at the back here for the Ants. Hamilton. Murkov over the top. There's Prout. Spins through a tackle, does it well. It's flipped in the Nelson direction. He can't control it. Goes shoulder to shoulder with Butterworth. Nowhere to go at the moment. Elliott, Ramshaw. Down the line, here's Lemmy. If he looks up, he's got Carl on the inside. Marr leaves it behind. Good pressure came from Donegan. Turnover comes. Kick inside 50, and Chubb has an opportunity to go back and kick goal number 3.
Just that skill area coming back through the corridor. They were out as well. The Carlton forwards had taken off into space.
Turnovers killing the Blues this afternoon. They've had 35 turnovers.
Yeah.
The Bullants 26.
And all defenders out of position. Not much you can really do there.
So Jack Chubb, 9th VFL game, had 4 goals in his career up until today. A chance to add another 3. 2 in the opening term. 45 out. That one's going to miss left. Off hands, minor score.
So they extend their quarter-time margin by that behind. 1-2 to 1-1 in the quarter. And Dronico a minute in for the Bullants. Bailey Lambert at the 9-minute mark for the Blues. Lockie Young to Wilson with McCormick security on the mark. Forcing Wilson to kick aggressively. Frank's back with the flight. Nelson, here's a chance. Elliott straight into the traffic. Coughs it up through the Lewis tackle. So a big stop there from the Carlton defence, and the Bullants had rushed forward with possession. Now Carlton might rush it back at them. Lambert to Nelson. Slides away into the hands of Lemmy. Wallace couldn't get back to impact the contest. Moya presents, that vacates the goal square. Lemmy turns into Tom Berenger and points deep, but now everyone's back. He'll try and suck them in with a short kick that'll just cough it up. Mantis, Chubb, Velasaris, it was a blast. They needed more composure. Nelson.
Looking for a better entry this time. Can they get it through Lambert? Sizzling kick. We talked about his class. That kick from Stevens was as good as you'll see.
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? Everyone was expecting a long driving ball to the top of the goal square. He lowered his eyes, and that was pure class.
Lambert, a bullet onto the chest of Archie Stevens. Look at that. No more than 4 feet off the ground. And now Archie to go back and finish as the Blues once again try to work their way back into the game as they did in the first. Stevens, 40 out, hits the post.
They're the chances you've got to take. Halfway through this quarter with a wind, and you've only kicked the 1 goal. 2 marks inside forward 50 as well. So Bullants defence holding.
Liam Mackey taking his time to decide where. Wall finds Holland, and the Ants will get running. Gilbert into the middle, Velasaris, Donegan, overlap now, Holland barges through, got via Harvey, bullets the kick. Lewis, as he so often has been in his time in navy blue, the man to cut off another 4-8. Goes to Young. And there's some easy outs at the moment for Carlton. We haven't seen this through the match thus far. Binns to Lambert, goes by hand. Carroll, Wall just slid rather than corral. Carroll inboard for Harvey. Better looking Carlton, and space suddenly for Moya. Lemmy presents, he heads in that direction, got the right hand out, pulls it into the left, turns, slices it for McMahon. Through the back, they can raffle it. Binns. Oh, somehow Carlton do not kick a goal.
They had all the time in the world.
Stevens and Binns were left to their own devices here, and Jackson Binns just looked up, caught Tristan Wack in his eye line, and that put him off.
There's been a few little fumbles this afternoon at costly times for the Blues.
Well, sometimes clangers happen. That's why we have Amy. Young inside 50, finds Lemmy.
He'll want to put that bit of vision in the bin, never to be seen again.
And Harry Lemmy can make it a 7-point play if he can go back and slot this one. Marchbank with the fist over the top was important. Lewis Young to Lemmy. Carlton needing to take their chances. 3-6 so far. Skipping approach from Lemmy, 45 out. Can he work it back on the breeze? He cannot.
Harry Lemmy's gone back into attack in the last 4 matches after having been impressive as a taller defender in the first part of Carlton's VFL season. Matthew King, mainstay of this Bullants lineup amid so much change in recent seasons. Elliott emerges. Chip short Jorgensen. And now, just now, Andronico makes his way inside forward 50. So that's what's in front of the Ants. Velasaris under pressure. Clever hand in from Moya. A huge footy to win here. Prout, Young, Carlton, one more clean possession. They could be out. Lambert, he's camped upon. It's spits free. Holland got away from the outstretched arms of Harvey. Elliott will get a look at it. No, the mark will go to Andronico, or do they both touch it?
Liam Mackey, boundary side. Liam, thanks for your time. What are you making of the game?
Yeah, look, we're very pleased with the way we've sort of pressed the game, and we tried to put as much pressure as we can on them early. We knew they sort of weren't as good under a lot of pressure, but I'll get him. And it's just good to see we're actually finishing our work and good to get some scores on the board.
Sorry, Brad, it's been a tough season, Liam. So when things start to click for you and you have a quarter where you can come out and kick 7 goals, that must be fun. The energy amongst the group, it must be a real pressure release.
Yeah, look, certainly is, and I think a few of the boys were getting pretty excited at quarter time. We just had to calm them all down, saying it's only the first quarter, we've got plenty more to go. So, look, it's very exciting. It's very fun to actually be in front and get a lot of scores on the board early.
Liam, what do you change defensively from the first quarter to the second quarter, depending on the wind?
Yeah, look, we sort of probably took a bit more of a back shoulder. I think at the moment we're probably just zoning off a little bit too much for our liking, so we're going to tighten that up mid-quarter. And then, yeah, just try and take that back shoulder, and then when we get the ball, we just try and run and gun, go through them rather than kicking long, and it's just not going to work. So,
when you haven't had a lot of time in front in games, Liam, and you're in this position now, there's an element of game management to this, isn't there? But you can't afford to go too far back into your shell.
No, that's right. Our big message was just keep taking the game on. We're not going to win the game if we just go save the game. Now we're only five goals ahead. So look, if we play save the game, play safe, we're probably going to lose the game. So we've got to keep taking the game on, run, carry, use our foot skills and get the ball going forward.
We appreciate your time, mate. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Kick inside 50 has been marked by Stevens. He'll get another opportunity. Hit the post a little earlier in the term. These are the chances the Blues need to take.
Yeah, they've kicked 1 goal, 5 for the quarter. They've had plenty of opportunities and just missed.
Kick this and bring it back to 22 points, which again is very manageable. They're kind of living on the edge at the moment at 28. Should the Bullants kick a couple? Stevens gives it some height. Will it get there? Right to the line. It's still alive. Lemmy. Carl. Snaps.
Oh, they liked it.
He thought it was a goal.
Behind.
So a minor score. Hey, Carl can't believe it.
1 goal, 6 for the quarter. Huge couple of opportunities go begging there for the Blues.
12 minutes without a major in the game. Liam Mackey, fresh off an insightful interview, back into it and pinpoints the kick. Great out to find Barry.
I just wonder how, with a slow point, Blues have plenty of time to set up structurally, how a guy can be standing out there all on his own on a 50-metre kick.
Harvey went up for the Blues. Wilson retreats for Marchbank. Outside of the hand to Marr. Almost run down by Butterworth. Wallace, acrobatic. King feeds Mackey. He was almost run down. Good fist from Lewis. He's had some vital moments in defence. Knocked it away from McCormick. Moyer on the wing. Chimneys it to Prout, who was cat-like on landing, to find Stevens. They're starting to get some link up, the Blues. There's Flo and Motlop out the back. Mackey reading the cues. Gilbert needing all of his experience to put that to Wallace and into the hands of Hilton as the Bullants live dangerously.
There's a good understanding then from Mackey of his closing speed then. Almost encouraged that kick to Motlop, knowing that he could slide across and cut it off if needed.
Blues with plenty of talent in the small forward stocks, but none really having a massive impact. Durden's had 8 touches. Carl 5, Motlop 2. Free kick for a hold in that contest. It's going the way of the Bullants.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it, and you can see that Lewis Young remonstrating with the umpire. Just impeded him a fraction.
Jorgensen's kick holds up at the wing. Murkoff. Here's Marr. Moyer comes in. Marr rips his man off the football when not in possession. Towards the line and over. So 23.5 minutes gone, second term. 7 VFL's match of the day coming to you from Kramer Street. Jenna Steele Oval here in Preston. And it's the Bullants by 27 points.
Free kick spotted. Boundary throw, and it almost favoured Murkoff. Johnson, virtually a professional free kick. Moyes kick got through the hands. Ramshaw, quick hand to foot, skies it. It's going to fade left. Drop for Harvey, who had the drop on Whack.
Strong hands. They've taken plenty of marks inside the forward 50 in this quarter, but have not been able to convert.
Represented Vic Metro back in 2021 as an under-16. Snaps an all-important fourth for the Blues. A rare mark inside 50 for Carlton. And the margin is sub 4 goals. Almost in a similar situation to what we were in the first quarter, with the Bullants needing to somehow protect this margin towards the break.
Liam Mackey spoke about wanting his defenders to play back shoulder on this occasion. Max's tie replay, you could see just playing from in front on that occasion, Tristan Whack, and it's a very vulnerable position to find yourself in on a high ball.
Dane Harvey named in the Victorian amateur squad to face Perth Football League over in Perth in July. Gets his first this afternoon. I'll give him some confidence. Away come the Ants again. They've looked so impressive when they've been able to link up by hand through the middle of the ground. Velasaris bounces it inside 50. Moya back there working hard. Young picks up the football, uses Prout. Now Lockie Young out to Ramshaw, who's been an important connector.
Downfield.
He's put down. Free kick to Liam McMahon. He's got Lemmy in a one-on-one. He's got Carl down there as well, so he wants to move it quickly. Skies that 1 to 50. Can Lemmy get over the top? He can. Can't quite bring it down. White the crumb. This might still work. Murkoff handball into space. Durden taken down. Good pressure. Blues still hunting. Ma flips it out. Lemmy gets a snap. Misses left.
A couple of really good defensive acts there. Hamilton, just his work rate to get back and intercept the ball and handball it towards the boundary line. And diving across Lemmy's boot, the smother.
So 14 scoring shots apiece, but it's the Bullants by 20 points.
6 touches, 2 behinds in the quarter for Lemmy. Mackey to Hamilton. He's given them some real pizzazz from defence. Murkov and Elliott. Wilson scooped it up. Tumbling snap. And the Bullants in preservation mode, perhaps, in the final 10 minutes of the quarter. Again, given what they... The Bullants have been prominent scoring from stoppages. Can they get that started early in the third? Johnson and Murkoff meet again. Fairley to Velasaris. Over the head of Chubb, who's got a couple. Jorgensen, who kicked 3 to this end in turn 1. It finds him. He finds the ball. Did he find the right part of it with his right? No, it's out of bounds on the full. An early look for the Ants goes begging.
It's actually followed him today, hasn't it? Even when he's been out of position and had no right to win the ball, he's found a way. And another centre clearance. It was brilliant tap work, and they are in sync through the middle of the ground, the Bullants at the moment.
Caleb Marchbank, just the 4 touches in the first half. Had his hands full down there, he and Lewis Young. Lemmy, prominent in the second term, gets involved here. Nelson pokes a kick to a dangerous position. 2-on-1, Motlock created a contest. Fairley's handball. Spinning through magnificently was Hamilton. Oh, he set sail for goal and kicks an absolute ripper.
It's the goal of the day.
Slash the year.
That was unbelievable. And good strong contest from Sammy Gilbert too, the 38-year-old.
First VFL goal for Josh Hamilton. And what a screamer. Troy Free went to school with his dad.
Who's Troy Freer?
Our director this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean, who's Troy Freer? Everyone knows who Troy Freer is. Fraser.
Well, good strong contest for the 38-year-old Sammy Gilbert, but for your first VFL goal, Josh Hamilton, that is one to remember on the Crown replay. Breaks a tackle, runs to 50, has the composure. Perfect start for the Bullants, and what a memorable moment for the young man.
Continues the theme of the afternoon. Jorgensen's goal 49 seconds into the first. And Dronico kicked a goal a minute into the second.
The tap work as well.
Hamilton to start the third. Fairley sends them forward over the head of Elliott. Prout needs to be clean, and Dronico got an arm. And the attempt kick from Prout was right in front of the jury. He's found guilty, and the Ants will have a look at inside 2 minutes. And here's the craft of Johnson.
It's just great, isn't it? Patrick Fairley, who's having some sort of afternoon, drives it in long. The forward pressure's been there all day today.
Johnson only at 196 centimetres against Murkoff at 210. Gee, he's been good in there this afternoon.
Yeah, because he's bodied him up as much as he can, hasn't just relied on a run and a jump.
Would get the margin back beyond 5 goals. And Dronico misses. It's 27. It was 30 at quarter time.
Michael Lewis, eyes darting. Bullants have been really good setting up behind the ball this afternoon. Smart from Lewis, finds Lockie Young.
He's done some lovely things, Lewis, this afternoon.
He's been their saviour a couple of times, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Young tries to take the man on. Well done, Donegan. Away comes Carroll, who's been amongst Carlton's best. Durden. I want to get involved a little more. His 10th touch. Ma, good effort from Wall. Ma now looks to accelerate away. Not easy to do from Wall. Kick inside 50 is good for McMahon. Can Liam McMahon get more involved? He's had a fantastic season at VFL level. This just his 3rd touch.
Yeah, he's been a non-factor so far this afternoon. Good bit of run and carry as well.
Shows the speed of Xavier Ma because Wall is quick.
He certainly is.
So Liam McMahon goes way, way, way back to set up for this shot. He's kicked 17-6 for the season. He's been really good. And they need him in this second half to stand up and be their focal point up forward. It's been quiet, as is Dane Harvey. 45 out, gives it a ride. It'll sit up on the breeze, but it'll still get there.
Good speed. He just put the ball under his arm, took the game on, and while he wasn't intending on finding McMahon, smart forwards, they just read it slightly quicker, and he caught whack from behind, and he hit that one beautifully.
Maintains his perfect record with goals in all 8 VFL starts this season. Liam McMahon came into the day, or into the round at least, 4th on the Frosty Miller medal table. Johnson crosses the line immediately. Murkoff steps around him, got a couple of fingertips to it. Stevens, Franks took it. Valasaris ducked under Murkoff. Got one as Nelson tells Murkoff to get all 7 feet of you back into defence, please. Valasaris heads for Elliott, who showed a nice set of hands and had the capacity to get separation from a defender of the calibre of Marchbank on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, he's presented up really well this afternoon to the ball carrier.
Elliott back to Valasaris, wide and out.
That's where I think Lewis Young and Marchbank have been caught in the middle. They've been wanting to play the zone-off player, but the Bullant forwards have presented up to the kicker and they've forced them to defend. And that's why they've been behind and allowed that lead-up mark on occasions.
We've seen Brandon Ryan and Finbar Maley go to the AFL from the Bullants in the last couple of years. This man, Will Elliott, could be the next of the talented athletic tools to follow suit. McMahon away from whack. Stevens, Nelson. They combine once again. Mackie got in front of McMahon and earns a free for his troubles.
He's a hard man to move once he plants in front. Mackie led outstandingly this afternoon, the skipper.
53rd VFL game this afternoon for Liam. Murkoff got a hand to it, but wasn't really trying to mark it. Ball on the deck, and that's a high shot on McKenzie. We've seen Murkoff do that 5 or 6 times this afternoon, Brownie. Been in a position where he's clearly the highest in the pack, but just kind of goes one-handed.
Yeah, and that's the next stage in his development, getting his timing right. You know, like he had a run and jump at it, but clearly he's not comfortable in the air like some other ruckman.
So Rowan McKenzie a chance to kick his second, kick one to this end in the opening term. 18-year-old come through the Fitzroy and Ivanhoe, old Ivanhoe system. And kicks his second goal.
Coming straight off for a well-earned rest is Rowan McKenzie.
Margin back out to 27 points on the Crown replay. Rowan McKenzie kicks his second goal as we head to Macca.
Well, we see Will Elliott involved in that Will McKenzie goal. Essendon did show some interest. He did sit down with Essendon ahead of the mid-season draft, but they obviously overlooked him. He's still 19, key position player. They just want to see him get his body right. Of course, the old man, test player for Australia, doesn't hide the baggy green at home, sits on the mantelpiece in the living room.
Fair enough too.
If you've got a baggy green, you might as well show it off. And there was his agility that I liked. As soon as the ball hit the ground after the contest, he was the first player hunting it. And at his height, 200 centimetres, that's a great sign.
Lights on here at Jenner Steel Oval as Motlop handballed it into Jorgensen's face. Nelson eventually to Wilson. Young shares it over the top to Carroll. So often been the man to do the receiving. Gilbert wants a free. And that's exactly what he'll get after Corey Durden just slammed into his back. We'll have to be careful managing Sam Gilbert's game time. This is his first game of footy at any level for the year. Franks, Motlop out of the side. Rook Barry, Holland looking for Donegan. He goes looking for the footy. Lewis had a fistful of the jumper. Franks followed up to Hamilton, stylishly forward, must have been touched. Andronico pops up, stays alive, while on the left, another Bullant highlight. Liam Mackey said it to us when he had the headset on at half-time. We've got to keep going at the game. That they've done, emerging from the half-time break.
Well, it wasn't perfect football, was it? They just willed this ball forward. Crown replay, Hamilton involved again. Smart to keep the ball alive and good, really good strength in the contest. Andronico, who's done some terrific things today, just he kept his feet. Classy finish on the left there from Weil. They can do no wrong at the moment, the Bullants.
Margin back out to 33 points. To see that energy Liam Mackey spoke about. It's fun, Brownie, when you're playing in a team that's getting belted every week, when you get the chance to give it to someone else, it's a whole different game, isn't it?
I know how he's feeling. I played for the Suns in their first 3 years.
When you get a chance to get on top, suddenly it becomes a lot of fun. Young, slapped away. Young sits over the top. We hit boundary side to Jackson Binns. Jackson, thanks for your time. What are you making of the game and how can you get back into it?
Yeah, obviously there's a little bit of a breeze going towards Bullants this way, so we're just trying to nullify their scoring options, and we knew coming into the game that they're going to be a team that tries to use the corridor, so just trying to nullify that as much as you can.
That second quarter, when you had the wind, you found plenty of ways to drive the ball forward, but you just couldn't quite finish. Was that something spoken about at half-time, just a little bit more efficiency?
Yeah, that's it. We're going to take big confidence coming into the last quarter that we know that we can back ourselves, whatever the scoreboard holds, and we can come back from anywhere. So we're just trying to nullify their score this quarter, and then we're going to launch in the last quarter.
Ball back inside. Jackson, your own game? What are your development areas at the moment? What are you working on?
Just keep going after, getting bigger in the gym and working on my contest stuff and just going after my craft in different areas. So
where do you feel like you're improving?
Just with my overall wing capacity, just to try and keep improving on my contest stuff and, yeah, bring my strengths each week.
We enjoy watching you play, mate. We'll let you get back into the action.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Appreciate Jackson's time. Margin sitting at 33 points. Murkoff wins that one down to Carroll. And Andronico put his head down again and crashed through. Handball a little fierce, beat Jorgensen on the bounce. And they're working hard. There's Andronico again. That's Archie Stevens on the bottom of that pack. Jorgensen over the top of him. John comes off for a quick spell as Johnson will check back into the game. Murkoff, nice tap back to Moya. Carroll. Oh. Got a little out of whack. And that's no good for Valasaris. Hospital handball. Look at the strength of Johnson. Carroll puts the saddle on.
It's kind of like watching the World's Strongest Man competition.
He is really powerful. How's that for a hospital ball?
All the best. So the game has effectively lived between 20 and 30 points since the Bullants kicked the opening 5 of the game. It's 3-1 to a goal in the third so far to the home side. Fairley, Andronico, Valasaris, gasses away, needs composure now. It almost got through all and sundry to find its way to Chubb. Hilton on the scene. McKenzie has got a couple. McCormick smothered. Chubb versus Marchbank. Carroll composed to release Marr. Now McMahon's got a 1-in-1 inside 50. Whoa! We'll run Marr down.
That is just
what a chase. Not on my watch, says Wol.
Young over the top. Strong fist. Important ball to win. Johnson. Mantis. Nice kick to 50.
Yeah, he was praying that fell into the arms of a Bullant. Mantis.
Rowan McKenzie will go back and have a shot for his third goal. And it really was wasted, the praying Mantis.
Look at this chase. This is where you get all your respect from your teammates. Whoa, just lightning.
And we saw that race as McKenzie into Lockie Young. We saw that race a little earlier and Marr managed to escape him, but that time Wall ran him down. McKenzie is having a good day. Good effort from Young and Lemmy through for a minor score. 34 points the margin midway through the third. The time is now for the Blues if they are to start working their way back into this game.
A bit of a coaching point in that for Xavier Marr to be running off the line rather than in a straight line. That makes it the easiest for the assailant to chase down. Wilson's clearing ball. McMahon over the top, whack the fists. Barry for Valasaris, clean with the ground ball. To the outside, it'll be Hilton on his left who's pressured. Back to Valasaris. Snaps over Young.
Oh, no way.
The bounce, it flicks off a finger, but it had been that sort of day where you sensed the Bullants were going to pull out another party trick to the Kramer Street end. How's the bounce here? Oh, it just started off Logan Prout's finger.
A little bit like the College Jasny one last night.
Yes.
Bounced over him through for a goal. That one was a flick of the finger. Marchbank to Stevens.
They need to respond here, the Blues. Getting completely outplayed again in this third term.
Lemmy stays down. Here's Harvey, a fumble. They pile in on top of Dane Harvey. Look of frustration on his face. They've got some firepower. Harvey, Lemmy, Durden, Motlop. Here is Harvey. McMahon as well. So the names are there up forward for the Blues, Brandy. They just can't quite take hold of the game.
Yeah, the firepower's there, but just no fire at the moment. And Motlop, he's got to try and he's got to be the guy. The X factor up forward that bobs up and kicks a couple of goals.
Just the 4 touches for him this afternoon. Lemmy over the top. Valasaris. High one to the wing. Gets over the back. Here's the speed of Andronico. But his handball is cut off by Prout. That's smothered. Great football again from the Bullants, just surging, running in waves. Wilson gets back. Binns. Lewis Young. And it has just been a surge of red jumpers through the middle of the field today, rather. as Moya goes to Ramshaw.
Still so much to play out in this one. The Bullants are 1 point shy of their biggest lead of the day they held in the early stages of the second quarter. But Carlton still to come, and
see Jack Chubb coming off
the ground. So they're one down in transition here. That allows Wilson forward, low kick. Stevens finds Binns, who can play on, steady, shoots, and get one for the Navy. $29 points the margin, 3 goals to 2 in the quarter.
So the shoulder's been a problem for Patrick Chubb today, and that's not going to help it. Came into the game with it already taped up and then buried it in the turf in the first term. Got up sore from that one, but now he's aggravated it again. Gone off for some treatment, Macca.
Yeah, just sitting on the bench now. Definitely that right shoulder. He can't lift it up at all, so in a lot of pain. Just chatting to the physios now.
Margin back to 29 points. The trend of this game is that the Bullants have kicked away, and then late in quarters, Carlton have managed to get back into it. Out comes Lewis Young, runs away from Jorgensen, but needs an option. Stevens hits the wrong side of the ball. Binns has to wait for the bounce, has some support. Handball for Prout wasn't ideal, and he floats it towards Motlop. Well played. Belted away by Ethan Mantis.
So it's 11 inside 50s to 3 for the quarter in favour of the Bullants. The heartening thing for Luke Power's team, 2 goals from 3 entries, Brownie.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's kept them still in the game, because they've been completely outplayed for 19 minutes.
We speak about their firepower. They've just got to get it into them. And in with quick, direct delivery that allows them to get some one-on-ones.
It starts around the ball. They've got to start winning some important clearances.
Lemmy can just put it into space. Carl.
Wait, Nick, tell Chase to sit down.
Stevens. Over the head of Harvey. Here's Monahan at the back. Finds Carl. Taken down in a tackle which slipped low. No free kick. Looked an obvious one. Mantis's kick floats and is picked off by Fairley. Now to Andronico. He goes down the line with the kick, and it's absolutely perfect to Hilton.
Elliott out the back. He'll get a fly here. Oh! He'll get a fly, all right.
He has got so much potential.
Wow.
Brilliant this afternoon. In the air, on the ground. That's a nice ride.
The next and more important piece of the puzzle comes now. Carlton have been deadly with their rare forward entries. Will Elliott kick the second goal of the game as the Bullants unleashed 5 in the first 15 minutes. And 5 goals, again, is the buffer. Will Elliott with a highlight.
1-3 this afternoon. Turns 20 Tuesday week. So much potential. He's on every AFL recruiter's radar, surely. Billy Wilson, nice kick in. Finds Lambert at half-back. Binns looking to create something, get something moving. Well done, Johnson. Been impressive. Max Johnson, just his 5th VFL game. Thumps it back inside 50. Off the hands of Jorgensen, slapped away by Young. Spills to Donegan, who goals.
Is this the best collection of 12 goals we've seen a team kick?
Brilliant, hasn't it?
His first goal in the VFL as well.
Snaps and highlights galore.
Their 10th best goal today would be most teams' best goal most weeks.
This for a team that averages 6 or 7 a game. 20-year-old Sam Donegan from Ocean Grove, St Albans, and the Geelong VFL program. Kicks his first VFL goal. That's a beauty.
Classy one too on the Crown replay. We've seen some fantastic highlights and goals this afternoon for a game that's last versus second last. We didn't know what to expect, but it's been a thriller, and there's still plenty left because the Blues have the wind in the last quarter.
So they get it back out to that game-high 6-goal buffer. Another one makes it really hard for Carlton. Wilson's done his best from the back. That time he was shut down. Harry Androniko's had some really important interactions.
His 8th touch for the quarter.
He goes high. Jorgensen will be the one to fly this time. Where are the Ants Crummers? Their ground game's been just as good as what they've done aerially. Marchbank takes his medicine.
Velasaris with 12 disposals here in the third quarter and 5 inside 50, so he's really getting to work around the ball.
29 for the game now, Jean-Luc.
Huge.
Jorgensen protected it from Murkov. Nothing on that from Carroll. Ramshaw. As the Ants pile in. So they get defensive shape. They get William Wallace as the spare for the blast kick out from the Blues here, the Ants. That'll come from Marchbank. Wallace stays off the contest. It doesn't get past the first layer. Great contest, Lambert, though. To Carroll, to Ramshaw. Now they're free. Wide kick from the Blue 51, and Mantis walked it out.
Can't for the life of me work out why William Wallace doesn't play with some blue face paint.
Well, he's been the spare behind the play all day. No one's manning him up. They'll never take away his freedom. 6 goals the margin. I'm sorry.
You went there.
That's what happens when you spend too much time with me, Jace. I brought you down to my level.
Oh, yeah. Down goes Wallace.
Big hit. He's going to bounce straight back up. A free kick. He's played that role perfectly, the spare.
Just a nasty one. Bailey Lambert came in inadvertent contact. Ball bounces away. McKenzie. Here's Velasaris again. What a quarter he's playing. Leaves them grasping at thin air. He delivers to Jorgensen. Go back and launch it, John. He does. Off a step. Off a step. And he almost got it there. He is playing with super confidence this afternoon. He's fun to watch when he's on, John Jorgensen.
He's spent some time in the ruck as well.
Margin at a game high, 37. A launch from the back for the Blues. Can they go coast to coast? McMahon to the running Carroll. Carl is out the back. He ducks forward ahead of Hamilton. Got it in the fingertips, wants the mark. It's not paid. Keeps it alive. Carroll the follow-up. Fairly corrals. Hamilton the smother. The Bullants find another way to blow out the Blues candle. Andrew McCormack, an update from the camps.
Yeah, the Bullants have just brought Jack Chubb back on, so you can see him just at centre-half back there for the Bullants. He's taken his place with that right shoulder.
Number 44 just ducking out to the left of your screen. Murkoff over the head and then onto the head. Velasaris with the tackle on, or from Lambert. Jean-Luc Velasaris, 30 for the day. 13 of them coming in the third.
14 now. Goes towards Elliott versus Young. Murkov needs some support. Gets it in the form of Carroll. Durden looks for Carl rather. All kept alive. Free kick, advantage will be paid. Away comes Donegan. Off to Marcus Holland. And the man from the snowfields at St Bernard's goes short to John Jorgensen. Pushing all the way up to the wing. Elliott versus Marchbank. Marchbank wins this one. Inside, look out, Carroll had to stand and wait, did it well. 26 touch for Jack Carroll, been a positive for the Blues. Needs some others to go with him. Spreads it wide. Lambert's had a couple of good moments. Can he create something here? Inside 50, but it's all Ants. They got in each other's way in the end, which keeps it alive for the Blues. They can't capitalise, although Lambert will get on the end of this again. 55 from goal.
They've got numbers back here, the Bullants.
Lambert decides to go longer. Whack in front, wet the mark, courageous decision. Even better execution. The kick creates some consternation. King received from Donegan and finds Wall, who's been part of the highlight reel in the third, both offensively and defensively. Elliott there again, gets to the front. How are these hands? And then the touch in board. Low down Jorgensen wears one from Moyer.
Yeah, they contacted him in the back before the ball had even got there. Pretty blatant free kick, that one.
Mantis, stop and prop for King. So do they manage the clock to three-quarter time? Or do what they've done all day, go from fourth to fifth gear and charge. Valasaris knocked away by Lewis Young. Stevens caresses it back in board. They'll turn it over. Hamilton.
It's been a spark for them. Been really impressive, Josh Hamilton, his 11th VFL game. Towards Elliott, and why not?
You can just see the players, they're kicking to Elliott with more and more confidence as the game has gone on, and he's presented well, and a lot of his marks are stuck.
Well, Elliott and Jorgensen have been so impressive, and they're playing on Marchbank and Lewis Young, so they're playing on AFL defenders, and they've had the better of them.
They certainly have. Been allowed far too much space in their forward 50.
Murkoff to the front, nicely picked off. Franks gets a look from the pocket. Oh, they can do no wrong.
This game gets better and better.
And the highlights just keep on coming. Well, their last win was a last gasper. Not often, as a Bullants fan, you get a chance to just sit back and relax and hope.
Great bit of stoppage work, because that came off the hands of Murkov as well. So he had to read that passage of play brilliantly and then to execute. And Franks along the boundary. Brilliant finish.
Queensland has been a great acquisition for the Bullants this season.
I think he's trumped Josh Hamilton for goal of the day.
43 points, the margin, as we get to the half-hour mark. And I'd like to request that we just put the bounce away for the day.
That's the 11th that's been recalled. So,
and there's been a couple that have really
favoured
one team or the other.
Johnson versus Harvey. Doesn't matter, the Bullants make sense of it regardless of the equation. Fairley's kick was impeded. Ramshaw the no-look to Stevens. Wilson, Binns on his left for Motlop. Knocked away by Mackie, but it was late. Can Jesse Motlop be the man to spark something for the Blues?
Fifth disposal coming up, very quiet.
McMahon will be the flyer and gets it.
What a grab. That is
three around him and he still was able to have their measure.
Genuine contested mark there. He was the meat in the sandwich and that just stuck. He's looking at his second goal for the quarter.
He is the hot hand forward, you feel like, for the Blues, that if they get centre clearance dominance, almost in the manner of which we saw the AFL team against Port Adelaide on Thursday night, if they can get things moving out of the centre in the last quarter, he's the guy at the end of the supply chain. For his second, you'll know straight away.
Big let off late in the quarter. Very, very gettable by his standards. Would have just given him a little bit of momentum and belief going into three-quarter time, knowing they're kicking with a 3 or 4 goal wind.
Margin sits at 42.
Oh,
well done, Lemmy. And that would have been right on three-quarter time, that goal. It goes begging. The Bullants lead by 42 points. Unfamiliar territory for them in recent times. Can the Blues fire a shot in the...
They'll be transfixed on it. So it's 42 points at three-quarter time. The Ants looking for their second win of the season, as are their opponents, Velasaris and Fairley. Motlop into the middle to start the last quarter. Nelson to Murkov. Carroll. Where's Young? He'll be involved here. It got over the back of Whack. Here's Durden for the ideal start. He miscues.
Very gettable goal. And they won the centre clearance too, which is something they're going to have to continue to do.
Just felt like even in that first 25 seconds, Brownie, there was more intensity in that passage of play from the Blues.
There certainly was. And Durden, he can't buy a goal at any level at the moment.
Mackie goes long. Well done, Lewis. Got it to ground. Bounce eluded Chubb. Pressure on Fairley. Lewis has got him. Umpire says play on. Nelson. Carl. Can he finish and get Carlton going? He can. Brilliant finish. Still some belief, still some spirit in the Blues. Margin back to 35.
Well, it's exactly what they needed. You just turn the ball over with some good forward half pressure and convert. And Durden should have kicked that goal to start the last quarter. It was just imperative on the Amy replay that if they are to get back in this contest, they need to score some goals early and put some pressure on this Bullants defence. Durden should have kicked one in the first 30 seconds, but that's a really classy finish. He kicked their first of the game, and it was brought about by just good forward half pressure and Hunt.
Ned Carl looking for a better finish to the start to his day. He was a little bit late getting to the ground. His parents had put Jenna Steele Oval into the GPS. They got taken to the Jenna Steele headquarters in Thomastown.
No. Oh, no.
That's amazing.
Which is a long way when you live on the Mornington Peninsula.
Oh, that's a disaster.
Sam Gilbert with the mark. Can he sing the song for the first time as a Bullant? A shimmy step from the rising 38-year-old. Velasaris to King. Johnson's got eyes on it first. The drop zone is Elliott versus Lemmy. And the free kick will go the way of the athletic Bullant, who's kicked two, provided us with some genuine highlights this afternoon. Jorgensen, 3 first-quarter goals, nearly had claims on a free kick on that occasion as Nelson dashes to Lewis, who pinpoints Stevens. They've got nothing to lose here, Carlton, which makes them so dangerous.
Stevens looked inside and goes down the line. Carl over the back. He's away and running. He'll have a couple of bounces. He can go all the way here. Decides to kick it deep from 60 to McMahon. Through his hands to the line. Opportunity lost. Carl probably could have gone all the way himself.
The kick was right, though. McMahon, he got a jump at it. He got 2 hands to it and probably should have held that mark. So very dangerous if you're a defender and you allow that ball to get over the back. And he marks that 9 times out of 10. Just remember the mark he took in between 3 defenders to finish the 3rd term. He gobbles that up every day of the week.
Mackie. Wall, hands to it. Nelson recovery and quick hand to foot. Playing in front was Mantis, taken out of it by McMahon, and this time it's White who can't keep it alive. And he's a Blue who missed 3 shots at goal in the opening half. He's another who, from limited moments and limited exposure, can create something here for Luke Power's team, who are winless since defeating Port Melbourne the last time they were on the screens of 7. Fairly out to Wall. Got it off to Andronico, who's immediately classed by his opposing 35 in Wilson.
It's the first time this afternoon that the Bullants feel like they're being hunted by Carlton.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just been living in Carlton's forward half in the first four minutes.
Can the Blues put it on the scoreboard? That's the big question. Nelson. McMahon in from the side. Here's White. Moyer lays the tackle. White's down. So's McMahon for that matter, but White looks to be in a bit of trouble. He's in distress right now. Here's another look. Number 77. Maybe just winded.
Yeah.
Yeah, just catching his breath now. Not feeling too good.
The game has to stop until he clears the area.
Yeah. He's catching his breath now. He'll come to the bench at a really important time here for the Blues. Looking to stage something of a comeback. They try by 34 points. They've got all the momentum right now. They need to put it on the board. Murkov the tap. McMahon takes possession. Whack comes in over the top. They pile in.
It's just a great name for a negating defender, isn't it, Whack?
Yeah.
Good spoiler. Tough.
When he's dropped it out of whack.
Durden. White back to Bin, squeezes the kick into the hands of McMahon.
You can feel the energy shift here. They're starting to get a little bit nervous, the Bullants, and rightfully so. So with the second goal of the quarter, and
Blues with the first 2 of the last. They've taken 6 minutes.
brings the margin back to 28 points. Plenty of time on the clock.
So Brownie, easy pickings for McMahon, second on the Amy replay. This quarter by the numbers, Luke Nelson with 5 touches. The Blues 18 possessions to 10. They've taken 2 marks to 1, but 5 inside 50s to 1, 6 tackles to 1. So they're doing it on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and 10 ground ball gets. So when the ball is getting to the ground, they're the first to it. They've got the numbers, they've got their energy up. So 28 points, plenty of time on the clock. And they've lifted their work rate, which they had to do.
We're seeing that in the middle, the intensity going at the football. Harvey in the ruck against Johnson. The second tap was important. Motlop will take the tackle from Fairley. But the Ants just unable to storm straight out of the front of the stoppage as they had for much of the first 3 quarters. Dalasaris has been one who's done that. Motlop in there scrapping in the middle. It's changed the dynamic. Marr comes in over the top, lays the tackle on Caleb Franks. Kicked a fantastic goal in the 3rd term. Bit of a stalemate here. Who can get the important clearance? Carroll dragged off it. There's Franks. He's wrapped up. Umpire says, holding the football. So the Blues eventually will get the clearance through Dane Harvey, who's gone into the ruck. Can they use it here? Another goal brings it back to just 22 points. Harvey, high and long. Hamilton, but only as far as Harvey starting to get involved. Wilson, through the hands of Wallace. McMahon at the back. Young open goal. Blues get another.
Now all of a sudden a little bit of feeling in this contest. We haven't seen that all afternoon from the Blues. Young. A few mistakes just creeping in now. Missed targets coming out of the back half. Drop marks on the Amy replay, and that move to throw Lewis Young forward, clearly working, and goes straight to William Wallace to let him know.
Lewis Young, his 11th VFL goal in 62 games, alongside 2 goals at AFL level in his 63 matches there. A rarity, but that's a winning move. Johnson to Velasaris. Can the Bullants strike back? Chubb knocked away by Lewis. Andronico fresh off the bench. Young to Motlop. And the Blues get running again. Carroll's done it all afternoon. Couldn't find McMahon. Paddled away by Carl, and somehow that wasn't high on Johnson, but I think everyone at the venue thought it was.
Harvey and Johnson continue. Johnson with strength off Motlop. Carroll.
And the one thing when you're trying to defend a big lead for the whole quarter that can really just get the momentum back your way as a quick goal. And that's something the Hawks couldn't do against Port a few weeks ago. It'll just take one Bullants goal to snuff this out.
Wilson couldn't control it. Fairly fashions a kick wide. They get the mark they were looking for to just settle things down a little. Mantis to half forward. Blues have the numerical advantage. And Lewis uses it while Marchbank engages. Kick inside was okay for Wilson. Thought about the switch to Binns. Wants to go more direct, and why not? That's a great kick. White can attack. But look at McMahon, he's got 3 to beat again. He does beat them and kicks the goal!
Oh, you can just see what is going to unfold.
What a game! Well, you said in the third term, if there's going to be a match winner for the Blues inside 50, it's that man. Well, Brownie, in the third term, you said if there was going to be a match winner inside 50 for the Blues, it'd be Liam McMahon. He's just kicked his third on the Amy replay.
He has, and again, it came from an error from the Bullants defenders. Look at them, there's 3 there. They had plenty of numbers. Spoil the mark. Choose not to spoil and punch that ball towards the boundary. A soft drop, and McMahon's been good, and there is a hushed silence here from the Bullants supporters.
They kicked 2 goals in each of the first 3 quarters of the Blues. 4 and 11 to start the last. Liam McMahon with 3 of them, and Sam Gilbert, as a pensive Rowan Welsh watches on, was involved in that piece of play. All of his experience can hopefully kick in here, even though he's pretty short of a gallop. And there was perhaps a little bit out of touch there that he was amongst those 3 players to fly as McMahon was one out and able to pick up the spoils. A tangle between Jorgensen and Murkov. Motlop, the tackle lingered as Franks kicks free. Butterworth versus Lewis, fighting at ground level. Butterworth goes for it, Lewis on top of him. And a rare foray into their half into this term, the Bullants. It's been 8 inside 50s to 2 for the quarter in favour of Luke Power's team. It will trickle back into their half, and the trickle might turn into a flood. Ma for McMahon against Whack again to the back. Mackie in pursuit. Carl, the Irishman Monaghan, it got over his head. Hamilton, can he slip free of White? High one.
I see that shouldn't have been a free kick because he deliberately dropped at the knees to try and draw it. But there, all of a sudden, the slow ball movement.
We've spoken about it all day, the psychology. When you haven't won many games and you get yourself into this position, we spoke to Liam Mackey about it. It just plays on your mind if the other team starts to get a bit of a roll on.
It only takes 1 goal, though.
That's the key. Over the top came Elliott. But the Blues now just hunting. Great tackle that time from Marcus Holland on Young. Motlop's totally changed the dynamic in the middle. Xavier Mars hitting the ball hard.
A couple of those positional changes from the coaching staff of the Blues has really worked.
It's going to be a Carlton free kick for a block. It's going to Murkov. They've changed the ruck combination a bit. The Bullants trying to get something to stabilise the situation in the middle of the ground because they realise it's flipped and it's changed the game. Murkov to half forward. It's not going to get to McMahon, who throws his hands up in frustration. It's picked off by Matthew King. So can the Bullants find the stabilising goal? There's plenty of time for Carlton. So the Ants have to continue scoring. Jorgensen takes the grab. Maybe this is their opportunity.
Couple of big, strong, contested marks.
McCormick had separation originally on Prout, who then could halve the contest in good style and is rewarded. There's enthusiasm, recognition amongst the Carlton team at ground level, and rightly so, given they've kicked the first 4 goals of this last quarter to evaporate what was a game-high 42-point margin back to a gettable 16. Harvey's been good in the ruck against Elliott. Donegan piles in for the Ants.
Interesting they're using Motlop and Durden as clearance players in this final term. Motlop playing as a pure midfielder. It's a side of his game they're looking to develop. He certainly changed the dynamic.
Luke Power's gone the prepaid mobile option instead of the headset to communicate.
Oh!
King wears one. unfortunately heads into our camera tripod on the way through. He looks to be okay as he extricates himself from the equipment.
Corey Durden came thundering in.
Most importantly, Peter O'Connor and Andrew McCormack are also okay at ground level.
I saw Macca flinch though.
No flinch from Dave North. Here comes from good footy stock. The son of Swooper did not hesitate. Kick inside 50. Great grab again from Jack Chubb, who's had some really great moments this afternoon.
And he doesn't need to move this ball quickly. He can take his full 30 seconds here, allow the Bullants defenders and mids a bit of time to rest, set up, and every second you can take off the clock's important. He'll take his absolute best.
So you see the players shielding their eyes from the sun here. Equal hindrance for forwards and defenders, importantly.
Right behind this kick. Jack Chubb, his kick 2. What a moment in the game. Good shape on it. It's starting to work a little bit left. It's still there. It's punched back into play by the Carlton defence. Valasaris comes through. Motlop tackles him. It comes to Andronico.
It was an interesting decision to spoil that ball straight back into the face of goals, but they get away with it, and they'll be looking to switch here and run and carry, take the game on.
Binns to Wilson. Can the Blues build from the back again? Back to Jackson Binns. That's not going to be required distance, so he'll bring it in the corridor and give it to Valasaris. Well, Jean-Luc has had a super afternoon once again. He's emerged as one of the premier midfielders in the VFL over the last couple of seasons. His numbers have been extraordinary. Nudge another 37 this afternoon.
An incredible season. He's just risen and risen in his time here as a Bullant. Of course, was part of this alignment originally when Carlton and Preston were intertwined.
So is this the moment? The goal they need to steady things down, push it back out to 22 points. Jean-Luc from 51 metres. Gives it a ride. It's going to drop short. It's off hands. It's still there. It's in the square. Holland. Ramshaw pushes him off the kick, and Durden has it for the Blues.
It would have been better to take that over the boundary line and get a stoppage inside your forward 50. Take some more time off the clock.
So nearly 7 minutes since McMahon kicked the 4th of Carlton's goals in the quarter. Prout marks. Tired McCormick. Wall can't chase down Carroll. Young versus Wallace. Young wins the day. Chips forward.
Push in the back.
Push. Oh. And the crowd tells you the story. Those on the terraces in red want a 50. It's not forthcoming, but ball back in hand. This is a huge play, a huge call.
Touch and go.
Legitimately.
Exactly. Literally.
There is an extension of the hands there, but...
So Mackie has it. Jorgensen will be the option down the line. He's under this, though. Bounces free of his grasp. He piles in again, though. Fairly wide. Donegan against the line. He wanted to keep it in. The Ants will take that, and every inch of ground they can buy. We get to the 18.5-minute mark. 4 goals to the Blues in the last.
It's got to be bold around the stoppages here, the Blues. Be on the move. Tap out the back.
Carroll and
into some
Durden.
space.
And Binns will come through. Off Durden, there's Binns. Beaten for it by McKenzie. Great clearance. Donegan, inside 50. Ramshaw's got to go, and he did it really well. Clean from Ramshaw, and then the kick towards Binns. It stays alive. Fairly gains some territory. It'll pitch in front of Chubb. Kept alive by Donegan. Towards the pocket. Ball flipped over, taken by Ramshaw. Can the Blues attack from here? Lockie Young. Ramshaw.
Downfield. Again, the Bullants then tucked up against the boundary line. They don't need to keep the ball alive.
There's real signs of fatigue amongst the Bullants midfield.
Stoppages in your forward 50, a good result.
Stevens towards Young. Running onto it was Lockie Young. Blues have got some numbers out the back here. They just need to be clean. Can Carroll get the hands free? Gone. Did get the hands free, but the umpire said took too long.
Full 360 there. That was the key. And They're out on their feet, the Bullants. You can just see some of their mids starting to cramp. Belissaris.
Butterworth denied by Young, and Hilton sees it out from Nelson. So we're into time on. 16 points. It ain't no canyon right now for the Bullants. But Carlton have been held at bay for almost 10 minutes now. Belissaris digging deep into his reserves. What's the call here?
Yep, paid it.
So if you can force the Blues long down the line to a contest, that's a win. That's exactly where they go.
Johnson in front. McMahon flies. It got busy on Wallace. Hilton wears the Nelson tackle.
That's where the Carlton defenders just have to be brave. Try and find something into the corridor.
Blues need the spark of energy that'll come from one more goal to get them to 10 points, because right now it feels like the Ants have got the game stabilised at 16 points. Carroll tries to destabilise it again. High kick to half forward. Lambert in the middle of this one. Spills to the front. Here's Ramshaw. Can he hit a target? He can. It's Binns. Late in the day, it'll take Jackson's best. He's done a lot of running. He's cramped up a couple of times himself by the looks.
Kicked a great goal in that third quarter.
They need him now. This for that spark we just spoke of. He'll waste no time to make it a 10-point game. He'll take a fantastic kick from 52. He's tugged it left.
Got the journey okay. Had to hang that out to the right-hand goalpost and just hooked it, looking for that extra bit of distance.
Mackie wants an easy out. Fairley waits for McMahon to stand the mark and glances across every blade of grass at Genesteel Oval to find a target. And the ex-Box Hill Hawk in whack. Forced to a one-on-one. That opens things up for the Blues. Young to Nelson, who's been busy in the last. Carl. Whack. Just got hands to it. Durden inserts himself and is cut off at the pass by Andronico and Franks. Bullants needing to number off at the contest. Harvey slides through from the ruck. It's off hands and through for another behind.
Smack a boundary side.
Jean Belissaris just getting those hamstring worked on. We've seen his cramping earlier in the quarter. He's going to be crucial, so they need to get him off the massage table and back out there, nearing 40 touches for the game.
He's had 39 touches, 10 inside 50s. He's been absolutely outstanding again. So the margin at 14 points. Mackie high and long. Lewis against Elliott. Umpire pays the mark.
Pretty good body work. He's done some great things.
The kick's got too much on it for Carl. It might work for Young at the back, but he fumbles at the critical moment. Tough one for Durden. Back onto his left. Durden straightens up. Off hands. Can they keep it alive? Moyer can't.
Just that little fumble at an inopportune time for Lewis Young. They were on.
That's 13 points. 23 and a half gone. Sevens VFL match of the day live from Kramer Street.
What a resource Michael Lewis is. He was a late in with Sam Durden and Aquay coming out of the team. So reliable for Luke Power. Jorgensen outpointed by Harvey, who's got better in this second half. Heads inboard for Ramshaw, who marks in front of Donegan. Wilson to be the architect from the back. Moyer took King out of it. It's a free kick to the Ants. And there's plenty of instruction coming out of the grandstand on the railway side for the home team.
Which is packed this afternoon.
Matthew King. Jorgensen, what can he muster in those legs?
Oh!
Elliott!
How did he mark that?
He's the third man in line.
It's a question we've asked all afternoon now. They've emptied out, which has left Fairley on his own for the easy mark.
He's played the sort of game this afternoon that just gets you drafted. Just, he's put together some good games, but this has been the standout.
Butterworth, Jorgensen, the fist from Lewis. McKenzie's kicked a couple. Motlop gets him.
Michael Lewis, 21 years of age, Nudge, and we look at the Tom Stewarts of the world. He's had a good day as well, Michael Lewis. There's Will Elliott. Done some just incredible things. Rowan McKenzie towards the square. Off hands, Wilson couldn't find his boot. Lays it tackle, down goes Holland, needs to get rid of it. Durden's got him. Umpire says play on. Quick snap towards the goal line.
Push! Elliott! He's got a free kick. Because he just attacks the ball in the air and it makes the Carlton defenders nervous. Such has been his aerial prowess. You can just see here it's a 3-on-1 and
Lewis.
not much in it at all, but just as he was about to jump, that contact was made.
Elliott for his second goal.
That'll do it.
The locals love it. Campbell Brown goes the crow again. Couldn't possibly lose from here, according to Brownie.
Hamey replay. You can just see the contact made right there. Definitely a free kick. Didn't need to happen. Lewis had some numbers around him, and Hamey replay, they love it. So they should.
First goal in half an hour for the home side. What a welcome tonic it's been. Johnson against Murkoff. Fairly put the pressure on Carroll's tumbling kick that evaded Monaghan. Valasaris finds something in those hamstrings. A 40th touch to Holland. A rarity maybe that we're going to have a Bullant on debut. Winning. Yep. And Jorgensen comes across the mark. Marchbank, who's another yet to kick a goal at either AFL or VFL level, remarkably, can add another chapter to what's been an eclectic day. This is to the left.
Been inaccurate all afternoon, the Blues.
They've had their chances, Brownie, haven't they?
10-17, their set shot inaccuracy is costing them in the end.
2 more scoring shots than the Bullants, but they trail by 3 goals. Mackie to the back pocket for King. Has to get away from McMahon and does. Elliott again.
We won't be seeing him playing on the VFL list next year.
Fairley. Down the line looking for Chubb. Wilson got a hand to it.
So if that happens, Brownie, this is a team that won 3 games from 10 matches in the shortened 2021 season. They were 1-17 in 2022. They could have 4 players drafted in 15, 16 months.
And they've won 4 of their last 44 games. Incredible. Binns. There's Elliott now playing behind the ball. Kick inside 50, a 2-on-1 for Young. Ball to the outer side. Nelson will go against Andronico. And will win a free kick as we approach 29 minutes. Wide to the pocket. Young off his hands, couldn't complete the grab. Tries to win it on the deck. And we'll get a free kick. Will he? No, it'll go the other way. Advantage will be paid, and away come the Bullants.
They probably didn't want to take that advantage, the Bullants, but they got plenty of numbers.
Hamilton to King. They need to find a mark. Marchbank with the fist on his own man, Wilson. Blues with numbers. Lambert, Nelson chopped off. And Hamilton, as he's done all day, accelerates. High one from Motlop on McKenzie.
While you want wins as a footy club, it's a testament to their development. If they do, they've got 3 certainties. If they do get a 4th, I mean, when you're taking their best or better players out of the team mid-year on occasions, it does hurt the structures.
Walter King.
Oh! Sammy.
With 38 candles beckoning, almost took a hanger. Johnson to Valasaris. Give us one more highlight, Ants. March back with the flight.
He'll get a game next week, Sammy Gilbert. He's been good.
He's the difference. That'll be his nickname.
He might not want to.
That'll be his nickname. He's undefeated.
I think he'll be good for a game a month.
Tell you what, I want to see him tomorrow try and get out of bed.
Ramshaw goes short to White. He launches it high inside 50. Elliott stands underneath it, drops this one. Wall immediately tackled and gone.
That was the easiest one of the day that he's dropped on that occasion, Elliott. Let's have a look at Sammy Gilbert. I mean, he was almost on the ground by the time he marked it. In fairness, look.
He held it all the way and then dropped it as he hit the deck.
Well, Luke Nelson basically halved his 174 centimetres.
So Logan Prout wastes no time and slots the goal. Brings it back to 2 straight kicks.
As we wait for confirmation that there's somewhere in the vicinity of 43 seconds left. Campbell, over to you.
That's why we like the count-up clock, not the countdown. Shouldn't even be an argument. No debate in football. Count-up clock every single time.
Yeah, that's certainly holding the footy. Wall just had the opportunity there to dish a handball off, chose not to. So a centre clearance here, absolutely vital for the Blues.
Is there one more twist in the tail? It doesn't look to be mountains of concern in regards to the time on the Bullants bench. Frank's got it from the Johnson tap to Holland, to Fairley. Out the front they go. Valasaris. Marchbank there to meet him. Franks and Andronico close things down.
Andronico's been really good this afternoon. The ball's hit the ground. He's been there to mop up.
Murkov to Motlop. It was touched off the boot. Holland keeps it alive. A spiral from King. Chubb outpointed by Lemmy. They've got to be perfect from here, the Blues.
Motlop. He's got into the game since he's moved into the midfield. Into the path of Ramshaw, who's been running all afternoon. And there it is. The Bullants win it at Kramer Street. They've knocked off Collingwood and now Carlton in the past 4 weeks. They leapfrog the Blues and climb off the bottom of the VFL ladder. The Bullants 14-11-95 defeat Carlton 11-17-83.
Outstanding performance. Good team effort. 4 quarters. They came in with a real plan, especially when they kicked with the wind in that first quarter, dropping that man back in Wallace. Their tools provided and presented all afternoon. And Jorgensen was absolutely huge. So was Elliott. Their midfield dominated and got on top. And their defence was rock solid. So, deserved winners this afternoon.
Here's Macca with Will Elliott.
Well, what an eye-catching